Hey guys, Sheep here. I managed to get my hands on 2 bricks of the new starter deck for Tokyo Ghoul. So I'm going to go over how I usually like to build my starter decks, and how I'm going to talk to you about like general UA deck building and stuff like that as we're going through it. So basically, the starter deck upgrade, usually the first step is to get 2 starter decks. Uh, my hands over here so you can see me doing my movements. um, so we have our 2 starter decks, and after you get your 2 starter decks, unbox them, and put all your cards out pretty much like this. We have no room on my table, so we have extra zeros. It's because my camera's a little too close, and there's no good way to fix that. So sorry, it just is what it is. So you're gonna put all your cards out like this, so you can see that you have playsets of everything that comes in the starter decks. That's the main reason you need 2 starter decks, is you don't get playsets of Toku or Ken or your AP restand or your special, which are super important to the deck, and so is the Rize. If we pronounce that wrong, I'm sorry. That's what we're going with for the rest of this video. So after we get playsets, we start to go through Union Arena rules and things. So there are rules to Union Arena for deck building, and it's the biggest rule is you're always going to be playing 4 specials. So our 4 specials can go up here, and I'm going to use some dice over here to make sure I know how many piles of things we have, so I can keep track of the numbers, because this is my second recording of the video, and we got real lost on the first one. So we're always keeping 4 specials, and you're always keeping 4 restands. These are your. I will always be playing this in any UA deck with exceptions. But most UA decks are playing 4 restands, 4 specials, and that's it. Next, after we have our 4 restands, 4 specials, we need to look at what our win conditions are. Our win conditions are this Ken and this Toka. We also have a little more aggro in this Toka right here, so we're going to keep a playset of each one of these. So 3 playsets, 4 playsets, 5 playsets. And this Toka is our win condition because we're playing an aggro deck. And this Toka resets itself if you have a Ken on your board. So it's just a free attacker that plays for. It's an attacker that plays active on your front line. So that's an extra. We're at 5 files. From there, we see that one of our win conditions was a raid, and so we need raid targets. Usually you want twice as many raid targets as you have raids, so that means we're keeping at least 8 copies of Ken, 4 are zeros, and 4 are 2s. So we'll be for sure keeping these. So that's another 2 copies, 2 sets. So we're at 7 sets. So one of the things I want to talk about as we add these zeros in is you almost pretty much always want at least 11 zeros, if not 12. This deck is more of an aggro deck, so I do want to play the 12 zeros. So we will play the 4 Ken, the 4 Ryoko, and the 4 Toka. So you go with the 9 copies. And it's highly likely in deck building the first time you're going to go over 50 cards, and that's fine. We'll take out the bad cards afterwards. Then from here, you need to read through your cards and see which ones are useful. We're going to skip that step. I already know which cards are useful. We're going to pick up this Rise. The good thing about this Rise is she is your only activator for having a face-down card under Ken, which is one of your requirements. So as this is the only card that can currently go under Ken in the structure deck, we have to play it. So straight into the pile. We're at 10 sets. From here, if you're going to play 12 zeros, you usually do want to play a playset of 1s. Hideyoshi puts a Ken from your sideline on top of your deck, and Hanami gives a character plus 1,000. There's an argument for both, but we're going to go with the Hideyoshi because it has an active trigger, and Hanami does not have any trigger at all. So there's our 11th stack. And then we will play a playset of Hideyoshi, or Nishiki, sorry. I was looking at my thing. Just simply because you always want at least 1 2-drop energy section, sometimes 2. So that's our 3 energy, which is 12 stacks, which means we have 48 cards here, which means we have 2 extra slots. So from here, we have some things to talk about. To be honest, we have some cute things and some playable things. The easiest option is going Yoshimaru, as it is a 2 energy if stood up. So that's another 2 active energies for us, 2 energy card for us, which means if we're on the play, we get to go a 0 drop, a 1 drop into Yoshi, and then on our third turn, we get to have 4 energy so we can start performing our raids and dropping our 4 energy cards, which is super good for aggro. Or we could opt to play either 2 Renji or 2 Uda. Personally, I'm going to be honest with you, I think these 4 energy 1 action cards are kind of bait. And they don't do enough. Uda has the negative battle points effect. So, like, if they have a 4K attacker on their line, you can make it a 2K attacker. But I'm going to be honest with you. Having to pay an AP to do that is awful in this deck that's already going to use a lot of its action points. And it just doesn't do enough. That's just really what it is. When you compare it to something like our 3 drop that comes in play active, or our raids, it's just having a 4 energy do nothing in quotation marks. Just doesn't seem worth it to me, so we're just going to put the Renji and the Uda to the side. They're just not going to see play. Then we can talk about Kaneki's Mask. Kaneki's Mask is draw 3, put 1 card from your hand in your sideline. Like, that is an insane effect, and it would be insane in any other game that is not labeled Union Arena. The sad part is in Union Arena, this effect is just too slow. You don't want to be using one of your action points in your aggro list to be running someone down. While you're trying to run someone down, take an action point off to draw 3, discard 1. Like, it's such a good effect, but it's just not for this list. So here's our real choices, and we're not playing the Hanami because it's just not worth playing. there's no explanation. It's just not worth playing. So we can play either 2 Yoshis or 2 Antikiku. This is, when it comes into play, choose a character on your field and switch it to active, or switch to rest and sideline this card, choose 1 character on your field and switch to active. Honestly, that effect is insanely good. This lets us play some of our 3 drops to the front and switch them to active, or our zeros. But I'm also going to tell you that I don't believe in this card as much as I do in just having another double energy. Decks just lose games not having enough double energy, so I would probably play the two Yoshis. I think this card is a little too cute. If this card came into play active, I would consider it, but that would probably be busted being able to stand 2 of your cards. I would say that this is a playtesting and a personal preference list. I would pick either of these 2. I'm going to play Yoshi, but I wouldn't fault you for picking either Anti or... Man, I'd even allow you to pick Ren, and it wouldn't be too bad. Everything else is just extra. So, like, your 3 options are these. But we'll pick the Yoshi. And then we'll quickly set everything back up so we can go into, like, what our deck list looks like after that. And what you do to upgrade from here. So here's our deck list, a little janked and croc to the side, but it's here. So this is our ending deck list, and you can playtest this as it is, see what you like. I am actually thinking about playing 1 less 0 drop to play 1 more double energy, because I just believe that much in double energies. So I would probably drop the Ryoku for another Yoshi myself. This gives us 7 double energies, 3 or 2 drops, 11 zeros. You can't remove Ken's, and this has no trigger, so removing it out is not a terrible thing. I am a little worried about how many like no triggers we have in this deck. We have 3, we have 4, 7, 10, 14 no triggers is a lot of no triggers, and you'd probably want to fix that a little bit. When you get the final deck, you're playing the 3-drop super rare Uda, the 4-drop raid Toka, and the 1-drop color Toka. So that'll take up quite a few of these slots. So you end up getting rid of your Hideyoshi's, your Shimura, and probably your Nishiki for those cards. I haven't looked at the main list, but this is what your structure deck is going to look like. keep an eye out for commons that you can pick up off people. That'd be very helpful. Your color is the most important one to probably pick up next. It's a one drop Toka. Its effect is mid, but having a color trigger versus not having a color trigger is day and night. And I will pause for 1 second to go get one so I can show you what it does. Okay, I'm back, and we're going to talk about the couple upgrades that this deck could really use. So the first one is this color trigger. Is a one drop Toka. Once per turn, switch one Ken with 4 less required energy from your front line to resting. If you do, this card gains 2,000 battle points. That effect is terrible, like absolutely horrendous. The entire point to play this is simply for the color trigger, which is purple one. Play one purple character with 2 or less required energy from 1 AP cost from your sideline active to your field. We are an aggro card, so hitting this out of life is actually great. It also hits our raid targets and gets those effects that go off. So that's our first upgrade is color triggers over Hideyoshi's. Our second upgrade is we'd really like to be able to play this 2-drop, this 4-drop Toka raid, which pretty much it restands a 3-drop on our field or draws us a card. And then once per turn, you can put a Ken to resting to give double attack. So it has a slightly better effect than the 4-drop Toka right here, which just puts one to resting, has impact, but it also costs 2 action points. So it's just another way to give us some aggro in this list. Probably the card you're going to replace is your... Honestly, it's hard to say, but it probably ends up being this 3-drop Toka. I'm not too happy about this because I really like this 3-drop Toka, but just eh. And that's another reason we need to upgrade the other Toka as first as well, because it's another raid target, so we'll have 8 raid targets between our 0s and our 1s. And then lastly, this is the card that's going to be the most pain in the ass to get, because every single purple deck wants to run this card, is Uta. Uta will replace our Nishiki. And Uta says, the most broken line of text you can say in Unit Arena, look at top 4 cards of your deck, place up to 1 into your sideline, reveal up to 1 character with raid or 2 or more battle action points added to your hand. So pretty much this is a search for any of your win conditions, and especially late game when you get the raid Toka, you'll have 12 targets to grab with this. And then if you're falling behind, it's activate main pretty much does the exact same thing as the on play. You look at the top and reveal a so look at the top up 3, reveal any and sideline this card. So like yeah, this is both a great way to get our win conditions into our hand early, and then late game when we have too much energy, it's a great way to find more win conditions. So yeah, it's going to see play, and this will replace Nishiki, Toka will replace Toka, and Toka will replace Hideyoshi. And that's the planned upgrades for this deck. There's also an argument you could remove Yoshiru instead of this 3-drop Toka, and you could do this. But, you know, that's arguments for later. So that's what I'm planning on doing with this deck. Thanks for sitting through our deck profile plus building explanation. So I'm going to play this. I'm going to sleeve this up. My locals is tonight, so I will be attempting to play this. I might make a couple changes. Like I'll probably at least change the Hideyoshi's out for my color trigger. But besides that, I'm probably going to try to play this as is, and I'll let you know how I do. So peace until the next video, guys.